What if I told you that a single $50,000 investment today could potentially grow into $3 million? Now, before you roll your eyes and click away thinking this is just another get-rich-quick scheme, I want you to stay with me for the next 12 minutes. Because what I'm about to share with you isn't some secret trading strategy or cryptocurrency moonshot. It's actually based on simple mathematics that Wall Street has used for decades. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how compound growth works, which 5 Fidelity ETFs have the historical track record to potentially make this happen, and most importantly, the real risks that nobody else is telling you about. Now, I need to be completely upfront with you. This video is purely educational. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing I say should be taken as investment advice. Past performance absolutely does not guarantee future results. But understanding these concepts could genuinely change how you think about building wealth. So let's dive in. Here's the thing that most people get wrong about building serious wealth. They think you need to be a stock-picking genius or get lucky with some meme stock. But the truth is far more boring and far more powerful. It's called compound growth, and Einstein himself reportedly called it the 8th wonder of the world. Let me break this down in the simplest way possible. Imagine you have a snowball at the top of a hill. As it rolls down, it picks up more snow. The bigger it gets, the more snow it picks up with each rotation. That's compound growth. Your money earns returns, and then those returns earn their own returns, and so on. Now, let's talk specific numbers, because this is where it gets interesting. To turn $50,000 into $3 million, you need your money to grow 60 times. That sounds impossible, right? But here's what different annual return rates look like over time. At 10% annually, which is roughly what the stock market has averaged historically, you're looking at about 43 years. That's too long for most people. But at 15% annually, that timeline drops to about 30 years. At 20% annually, and this is the sweet spot we're going to focus on, you're looking at approximately 22 and a half years. And if you could somehow achieve 25% annually, you'd get there in just 18 and a half years. Now here's the critical insight that changes everything. The difference between 10% and 20% returns doesn't just cut your timeline in half. It actually means the difference between having $872,000 after 30 years versus having nearly $12 million. Same starting amount, same time period, completely different life outcome. This is why the specific investments you choose matter so much. So why did I choose Fidelity? And why these specific 5 ETFs? First, Fidelity is one of the most trusted names in investing, with trillions of dollars under management. Their ETFs are easily accessible to regular investors. And most importantly, they have some of the lowest expense ratios in the industry. And that expense ratio thing matters more than you think. Even a 0.5% difference in fees can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over a 30-year period. For this analysis, I looked at historical performance, keeping in mind that past results don't predict the future. I examined expense ratios because lower costs mean more money stays in your pocket. I considered risk levels because not everyone can stomach a 50% drop. And critically, I looked at how long each fund has been around, because some of these are newer than you might expect. Let me walk you through each one, and I promise to be completely honest about both the opportunities and the risks. If I could only recommend one ETF from this entire list, it would probably be FTEC, the Fidelity MSCI Information Technology ETF. And here's why. This fund has been around since 2013, giving us over a decade of real performance data to analyze. The 10-year annualized return sits at around 22%. Let me say that again. 22% annually over 10 years. That's not a cherry-picked time period or some hypothetical backtest. That's actual performance through bull markets, bear markets, and everything in between. But here's what really sets FTEC apart. The expense ratio is just 0.084%. That's not a typo. You're paying less than 9 cents per year for every $100 invested. Compare that to actively managed funds charging 1% or more, and you start to see why low-cost index investing has become so popular. Now, what are you actually buying when you invest in FTEC? You're getting exposure to companies like Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, and Broadcom. These are the giants driving technological innovation. About 31% of the fund is in semiconductors, which have been the backbone of the AI revolution. And roughly 76% is in large-cap companies, giving you stability along with growth. Let's do the math on this one. If FTEC continued delivering returns similar to its 10-year average, which again is not guaranteed, $50,000 could theoretically grow to around $3 million in 22 to 25 years. But I have to be honest about the risks too. In 2022, FTEC dropped nearly 30%. If you had panicked and sold at the bottom, you would have locked in those losses and missed the recovery. This fund requires patience and the ability to stay calm when your account is bleeding red. Now, here's where things get interesting. FBCG is the Fidelity Blue Chip Growth ETF. And unlike FTEC, this one is actively managed. That means actual human portfolio managers are picking stocks rather than just following an index. The 3-year annualized return ranges from about 26 to 34%, depending on which source you check and when you measure it. That variation exists because this fund is more dynamic, with holdings that shift based on the manager's decisions. The expense ratio is higher at 0.59%, which is the price you pay for active management. The question you have to ask yourself is whether that active management is worth it. Historically, most actively managed funds fail to beat their benchmark indexes over long periods. But FBCG has actually outperformed the S&P 500 over certain recent multi-year periods. In 2024 alone, this fund delivered around 39% returns. However, and this is important, FBCG only launched in June 2020, so we have less than 5 years of actual performance data. We haven't seen how this specific fund handles a prolonged bear market or a major financial crisis. The managers might be skilled, or they might have just been riding a favorable market. Only time will tell. This one is suitable for investors who believe in the potential of active management, but understand they're taking on additional uncertainty with a shorter track record. Okay, I need to be completely transparent with you about this next one. FBTC is the Fidelity Wise Origin Bitcoin Fund, and it's the most volatile and controversial pick on this list. This is where I need you to really pay attention, because the reality is more complicated than the headlines suggest. Let's look at the actual numbers. In 2024, Bitcoin rallied approximately 121%. That's incredible, right? But then in 2025, Bitcoin dropped about 6%. And here's what most Bitcoin promoters won't tell you. As of January 2026, the trailing 1-year return for FBTC is actually negative. That's right, negative. If you had invested 1 year ago, you would have less money today than when you started. The 52-week range for this ETF has been between $66 and $110 per share. That's nearly a 70% swing from low to high. This kind of volatility can make you wealthy, or it can devastate your portfolio. Now, I'm not saying Bitcoin doesn't have potential. The long-term thesis around digital scarcity and institutional adoption is compelling to many investors. But FBTC only launched in January 2024, giving us barely 1 year of data. The expense ratio is a reasonable 0.25%. But no low fee can protect you from a 50% drawdown that Bitcoin has experienced multiple times in its history. Here's my honest take. If you are considering FBTC, it should represent a very small percentage of your overall portfolio. This is money you can afford to lose completely, and if the thought of watching your investment drop by half keeps you up at night, this is simply not for you. FDTX is the Fidelity Disruptive Technology ETF. And I have to start with a critical disclosure. This fund only launched in June 2023. That means we have approximately 2.5 years of history. There is no 3-year return data. There is no 5-year return data. We simply don't know how this fund will perform over a full market cycle. What we do know is that the one-year return has been around 20 to 25%, which is impressive. The fund focuses on companies driving technological disruption, things like artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybersecurity, cloud computing, and big data. Holdings include names like NVIDIA, Taiwan Semiconductor, Palantir, and Shopify. The expense ratio is 0.50%, and the beta is around 1.47 to 1.56. For those unfamiliar, beta measures volatility compared to the overall market. A beta of 1.5 means this fund moves about 50% more than the market in both directions. When stocks go up 10%, FDTX might go up 15%. But when stocks drop 10%, FDTX might drop 15%. This is a fund that bets on the future of technology disruption. The opportunity is significant if these themes continue to dominate the economy. But the limited track record means we're taking on more uncertainty than with a fund like FTEC. I'd want to see how FDTX handles a real market downturn before committing heavily. Let me end with something different. FDVV is the Fidelity High Dividend ETF, and it represents a more balanced approach to growth. Since its inception in September 2016, this fund has delivered around 13 to 14% annualized returns. That's lower than some of the others on this list. But there's a key difference. You're also receiving a dividend yield of around 3%. What surprised me about FDVV is what's actually inside it. Unlike traditional dividend ETFs that focus on boring utility companies and banks, FDVV holds Apple, Microsoft, and NVIDIA among its top positions. You're getting exposure to growth stocks while also collecting dividend income. This hybrid approach has actually outperformed classic dividend ETFs like SCHD, VIG, and VYM over certain recent periods. The expense ratio is incredibly low at around 0.15%. The timeline to $3 million is longer, perhaps 26 to 30 years, but you're taking on less volatility along the way. For investors who want growth but also want the psychological comfort of receiving regular dividend payments, FDVV offers an interesting middle ground. Before you do anything with this information, I need you to understand some critical truths. First, every single projection I've discussed assumes constant annual returns. Markets do not work that way. You will have years of 20% gains, followed by years of 30% losses. The path to wealth is never a straight line. Second, past performance genuinely does not guarantee future results. Just because FTEC has returned 22% over the last decade doesn't mean it will continue doing so. Technology could face regulatory challenges, valuations could compress, or entirely new industries could emerge. Third, consider using tax-advantaged accounts like a 401k, IRA, or Roth IRA. The tax savings over decades can add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And finally, the most important factor in all of this isn't which ETF you choose. It's time in the market and the discipline to stay invested during the scary times. The investors who turned small amounts into fortunes weren't geniuses. They were patient. So here's my question for you. Which of these 5 ETFs interests you most, and why? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. And remember, this is education, not financial advice. Always do your own research and consider talking to a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. I'll see you in the next one.